This broke out yesterday, and this has a lot of people fearful. Mt. Gox, which the biggest exchange, Bitcoin exchange, biggest exchange in period, back in the day, in 2014, they had a major hack. Okay, they went bankrupt, but they still hold 141,000 Bitcoin, which they have to repay back people. Okay, that is quite a lot. $9 billion worth at this point in time. So yesterday they decided to move it. They moved, first of all, think about how amazing it is to be able to move $9 billion from one wallet to another and basically pay almost no fees and not have any bank step in and say, hey, whoa, who are you transferring to? You know, we need to know who you're transferring to. And we need all their KYC information. In this case, with Mt. Gox, I'm sure, you know, they did provide all this, but normally speaking, like, let's say if you're, I don't know, anyone else, Sailor, if you sent $9 billion of Bitcoin to anyone else, no one would stop that. No one would intervene because that's the beauty of Bitcoin, right? Just want to quickly point that out. Anyways, so they transfer this, and the reason being they're getting ready to distribute. So they have a deadline. Finally, this has been ongoing since like 2017 or 2018. We've been talking about distribution for so long that everyone forgot about it. But now after ruling and courts and all this like delays and everything that's been ongoing, the final deadline is October this year. No more pushing it back, no more whatever process they have to go through. So they have to distribute this 141,000 to all the people that are owed, right? It's not as lucrative as people may think, because back in the day, people had a whole lot more Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin was worth a lot less. Now they're getting a cash equivalent of how much they had. So that's why they're distributing this. And some people are taking just Bitcoin equivalency, and then some are taking cash equivalency. But people are not getting the number of Bitcoin they had back, okay, which really sucks. Because there were a lot of people that probably had thousands of Bitcoins on Mt. Gox back in the day. But now they're getting what that was worth back in that day, in equivalency of cash or Bitcoin today, if that makes sense. So it's a lot less. So a lot of people are getting screwed. But nevertheless, it's a big number. So people are anticipating that there may be a massive sell-off coming soon. Well, the ex-CEO of Mt. Gox, Mark Capellas, tweeted this out early this morning and says, as far as I know, everything is fine. The trustee is moving the coins to a different wallet in preparation of distribution that will likely happen this year. There's no imminent sale of Bitcoin happening. See, like, we all love to hear that. But here's the thing. Mark Capellas has no clue of what's going on at this point. He is not associated with Mt. Gox at all. It would be the same as asking SBF, who's sitting in jail right now, what's going on with FTX? Is distribution going to happen? Like, he has no clue. He's out of the company. The same thing with Mark Capellas, because he's the one that allowed the hack to happen, and he was also the one that was so incompetent that they had no security protocol. They had no auditing. Hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin were like found after the fact. He had no clue about it. He was the very first SBF before SBF. Yeah, that's how bad it was. So I don't know. People are, looking at this like, okay, yeah, we should trust Mark. He knows what he's talking about. No, he doesn't. He has no clue what's going on at Mt. Gox. He hasn't been associated with Mt. Gox for like 10 years. But with that said, so who does? Who has inside information? First of all, Bitcoin did dip, right? And we have dipped to now a level that we haven't seen since Friday. So that sounds pretty scary, right? So no, I mean, the point of this is, okay, we were just at this level. Yes, we lost the momentum we had leading up to yesterday. We pushed above $70,000, right? And what we what we had over the weekend. So we have fallen back down, right? But that does not mean the run is over, okay? Long-term holders and institutions are still buying and holding. So even though $9 billion worth of Bitcoin seems like a lot, it does not mean that every single person that will be receiving their Bitcoin will be selling. Because obviously those people are Bitcoiners. They believe in Bitcoin and have been holding for 10 years. Why not hold another year to see what happens at the end of this cycle? They know. I'm assuming they know. I'm assuming most people that are waiting to be distributed know that we're in the parabolic bull cycle of this stage, right? So you put two and two together, there's no reason to think the vast majority of people that will be receiving their Bitcoin finally will be just dumping it. In fact, I argue most of them will just continue to hodl. Because again, what's another year after waiting 10 years? And whatever they're getting is just the cash, well, whatever the cash equivalent of what they had in Bitcoin or in cash. And that could just be very little versus the number of Bitcoin they actually had before. So there's really no reason to think that we will get massive $9 billion dumping on Coinbase and drop Bitcoin to like whatever level people think it's going to go to, right? There's no reason to think that. In fact, if you look at, like I said, long-term holders, inactive supply longer than 1 year, we're at like 13 million. 13 million out of 19 million. If you look at supply last active for 2 years, okay, it's around 10. So basically 50%, more than 50% of Bitcoin has not moved in 2 years. 2 years. And close to 50% for 3 years. And if you're looking at 1 year, you're talking about like 70%. Long-term holders do not care. They will not go away. And that number only increasing right now. Look at it. It's hard to see, but look at the green figure. Inactive supply for more than 3 years. Look at how that's actually skyrocketing right now. 2 year and 1 year dipped a little bit, but you can see how it's going back up. But inactive supply for more than 3 years is close to 50% already, above 40-something percent. So long-term holders are not going to go away, right? This is ultimately the reason why Bitcoin will continue to go higher, because the supply is limited and it's only getting more scarce. Long-term holders are buying more, and now you got institutions coming in, right? You put two and two together, that is what is going to drive Bitcoin higher. Okay, the supply shock I've been talking about, it's real. It's real. Otherwise, we wouldn't be at where we are right now, right? Otherwise, we'll still be at 15,000 and 16,000 and 20,000, which we were at for majority of the time in 2023. Again, when in doubt, zoom out and realize how far we have come within a very short amount of time. Really, we didn't even start moving or recovering until September of 2023, which wasn't that long ago.